So, a question for you. Where do you put your happiness? Do you have your happiness in today, or do you put it out to a future date? So, in a recent client conversation, we were talking about this. She was feeling very unsatisfied with how things were, feeling a bit impatient, feeling discouraged that things weren't better, and didn't love where she was at. And so I asked her that question. Are you putting your happiness out into some future into some future date or some future circumstance, or are you able to feel some of that happiness today? And what proportion of that happiness are you able to feel today? Because she had put a lot of her happiness out into the future. And it was the thing that was disheartening or discouraging for her is that she was putting it out into a future that wasn't defined. It didn't even have a date or what I mean by that, it didn't even have a time period where she was hoping to feel better. She did not know what that future would bring. So that made her current lack of happiness even harder, even more uncertain that she would ever feel the happiness that she was desiring to have. So have you ever been in that situation? Have you ever felt that way? Are you feeling that way right now, where you are putting a measure of your happiness out into some expectant future and not really even having that future defined? And so not knowing that if you'll ever really get there. And so feeling a bit despondent or discouraged today. So that's the idea that I want to talk about for a moment today, is how much do we put conditions on our happiness of some circumstance that we wish that we were at, that we felt like we should be there by now? That is such a lie that I think that the devil says, is that you should have been there by now. You were hoping last year that you would be so much further ahead. And look, your circumstances are the same. Nothing has changed. You have been spinning. Is that actually true? I highly doubt it, because we are beings of progression. We naturally progress. I believe that no pain is wasted, that every single thing that we experience is for our learning and can be for our good, and is often for our good because it strengthens us. We become different people every single day. Every single day, unless you're sitting watching Netflix on the couch every day, which I don't really think there are a lot of us actually doing that. Maybe we want to be doing that some days, but we are doing stuff every single day. So to give ourselves the credit of what we are actually doing, perhaps those changes are internal. Perhaps there are a lot of changes that we are not even recognizing that are changing and have been changing. Like if you were adopting the belief that you were hoping that things would be different by now, that you're in the same spot as you were last year. That is a lie. That is a full out lie. You may have some parts of your life that you haven't figured out yet. Maybe financially you're in a similar situation where that looks similar or to last year, or perhaps you're struggling with some things the way you were struggling, or it feels similar to the struggle of last year. It is not only logical and makes sense, but it is, in my mind, it is truth that we are always evolving and always changing. So that is an all-out lie. So if you get that message, or when you get that message, because I believe that all of us get that message, that, oh, you should have been further along. You're spinning your wheels. You're not getting there. That you shut up the devil. You shut up, because I think that he says that a lot. You shut up your mind. If your mind has started to believe that, or has been believing that for years, you stop that thought and you say, I'm open to what else is true here. What has changed for me? What, and this isn't even what I was going to talk about today. You should see my notes. They don't even say this. So obviously there are a few things for me to say today. That to open up and ask, what else is true here? What actually has been changing? Maybe it was something different than what you really wanted to change. Maybe it was something that you weren't placing a lot of value on. Maybe it was something that, maybe the things that have been changing are things that maybe you didn't think were that important, or they weren't your big goal. Maybe you have a business goal, a financial goal, a relationship goal, whatever it is. Maybe that thing hasn't shifted as much as you would love to have shifted in the last year or time period. And yet there are other things that have shifted. There are other things, other ways that you have been learning and growing and experiencing and strengthening, even through trial, especially through trial. We grow stronger. If we are still living and breathing and upright, we are getting stronger from our experiences. So how much are you able to see of what's going right in your life? So that is where maybe some of these notes are actually going to come into this into this message today. And that is, when we put our happiness out into a future date, or when we make our happiness conditional in any way, we are giving our power away to some unknown arbitrary condition out there. Or it might be a very specific goal that we have, and we're putting all of our happiness there. We're like storing it there. It doesn't do anything when it's stored out there. Happiness and contentment only do things when they're in here, when they're within you. They can't do anything out in the future. You are literally taking some of your power to do outside of you. You're taking some of that power that you have to create, to do things differently, to progress. You're taking that power outside of you and putting it somewhere else. And that's what we're doing. And so we are left with more despondency, discouragement. So what can you do today? What can you do today? How happy and pleased can you be today? And how do you even get to that point? If you're really not happy with where things are today, it is almost an insult to ourselves. I have felt that it was an insult to me to try to be happy when I am clearly not, when I am clearly discouraged or clearly unhappy with the way that things are, and with my performance or what I have done or what I've not been able to do. It is almost an insult to just say, oh, I'm just going to start being happy. There is so much of my body and spirit, my body and heart and my mind that fights against that. And so what do? What I'd love to do is emotionally declutter, is to write on my notebook all of the junk and get it outside of you. People don't realize, maybe we don't even remember, maybe I don't even remember some days, how energy actually moves. And energy is at the root of everything in this world. And so when we actually write something, it actually is leaving us and going onto that paper. And energy follows your intention. So if you have the intention of, I'm getting this out of me, more will go. if you do it kind of faithless, then a lot less will go. But when you have that intention of, I am getting this outside of my body, outside of my mind, outside of me, I am choosing out. I am no longer desiring to feel this way. These feelings are going out of me now. These thoughts are going out of me now. All of this gobbledygook and garbage are going out of me now. When you do that and you put it on paper, oh my gosh, you start to emotionally declutter. Okay. And when you emotionally declutter, you free up space in your mind for better thoughts, for happier thoughts, for inspiration, which are true with a capital T. And you're able to create, you're able to do things differently when you have less clutter. You have more of your, what's left when you emotionally declutter is you're in there, and you can actually see you more clearly with the truth, with a capital T. You can see your circumstance as it really is, instead of it being tainted by all of this lie and stuff that is so easy to partake of in this life. So easy to partake of. One of the lies is that we need more to be happy. That is the backbone of all advertising, is to convince us that we need something so that because our happiness will be greater when we have the thing. That is the backbone of marketing, of selling something, is the convincing of somebody that they need that thing, that toothbrush, that special toothbrush, or that, that soft drink or whatever it is. It will make your life better if you have it. Or even the boat, or that kind of car, or SUV, or whatever it is. That's the way things are marketed. Well, what if, okay, so going along that line really fast, is that sometimes when we have so much of our happiness tied up in those things can actually become more clutter and a burden to us. And they actually feel lighter when we declutter. When you declutter your house, you feel lighter, you feel better. So what I'm suggesting is that when we declutter, when we write things down, that more of your true self is in there, and you actually have less need in quotes, for all of those external things to provide the happiness, because that happiness is inside of you already. That contentment is already residing in you. It was just buried by that clutter. So that emotional clutter. So when you take out the emotional clutter, that's what you have left. You have that contentedness that already resides in you as a child of God. You have that contentedness inside. It was just buried for a while. You have that simplicity and peace. You have more contentment, and you have a life that you don't need a vacation from. The vacation can become the cherry on top, and the life that you enjoy so much that you don't really need a vacation from, you absolutely live it, breathe it, love it. It's delicious to you. I know that from my own experience. So this is my message today, is there's a mantra that I love, and it is, who I am is enough. What I have is enough. What I do is enough. Who I am is enough. I love that. What I have is enough. What I do is enough. When all of those things are enough, you are in a state of contentment. You are in a state of relief. And I believe we are in a state that God would love us to be in, because then we can actually receive inspiration and be led in awesome, awesome ways, and really receive the things that we truly desire. So I hope this gave you something to chew on today, and go have some happiness go do some emotional decluttering and feel that contentedness that is you, that you have, that is you. You are content. That is who you in your natural state, in your state that's connected to God. That state, your spiritual state, that is, you are contentment. You are freedom. You are love. That's who you are. We just have to uncover that. So I hope you go and enjoy some of that today. All right. Take care. We'll see ya.